A toxic parent loves to withhold their love from their children. And their conditional love conditioned you to sacrifice yourself and prioritize them. In this video, we're going to break down what this looks like, why they might do it, how it impacts you still, and how you can break out of this cycle. If you're the black sheep, the cycle breaker, or the parentified eldest daughter, you're in the right place. Welcome to Becoming Enough, empowering black sheep and cycle breakers to remember their worth. I'm Roshni, your host, and the founder of Black Sheep Experience. Through coaching, spiritual offerings, and guided resources, I teach you how to regain your sense of self-worth after surviving your toxic childhood. Visit blacksheepexperience.com to work together one-on-one or to find additional resources. Your experience as the black sheep is unique, and it's time we finally started to talk about it. Conditional love is the cycle of your parents expressing love to you and acceptance and care for you, but only when you achieve the things they want you to achieve, only when you obey. And just as soon as you get used to experiencing their love and feeling like you finally have this thing that you've been waiting for, all of a sudden they take it away. They act cold towards you. They act like the love never even happened. They act like you don't deserve it. They gaslight you when you try and ask for an apology, even as a child. And there's this constant touch and go pattern with them that keeps you hooked. Because as children, biologically, as humans overall, we need safety. And love to us means safety, right? If we think back to millennia ago when humans were first evolving, we needed one another. We needed community to stay safe. We were not going to battle these giant animals and all kinds of massive threats without the safety of community and knowing that you have a sense of acceptance with where you belong. That meant life or death back then. And even though we've come a long way and life looks very different for humans now, we still have a biological need to feel that love and that security from our parents. So much of an infant's first year or even first few years depends on the closeness that they feel with their parents. I'm not going to get into infant parenting techniques because I'm not a parent, but there's so much discourse about whether you should leave your baby to cry, whether you should pick them up, whether it's okay to have a Velcro baby, whether they should sleep by you. And so many indigenous cultures across the world have a closer style of connecting with their babies and their infants. I grew up in Africa and mothers would wear their babies on their backs all day long, even while working and doing other things. And this created a safe and secure bond between the mother and the child. So if we're missing that, and then we move and grow a little bit older and we're preschool age or toddlers or we're going into elementary school, we then still don't have that constant, safe, secure love. We start to feel it. We start to fracture ourselves. And they teach us from such a young age that we can experience their love, but only if we obey. Only if we never challenge them. Only if we continue to sacrifice ourselves, our intuition, the things we want to say, our freedom of speech, just in order to obtain that love. But as children, we will do anything for it because we biologically are wired to need it. Their love means safety. Their acceptance means safety. We end up feeling like we really only have one option. It doesn't feel like as a kid you have the option to just not listen to anything your parents say, especially if they're going to withhold other things from you like food or freedom or being able to see other people that you care about. The tricky part is just that we sometimes do get their love. Sometimes they, give us these hugs and they tuck us into bed and they tell us how good of a job we did, or they tell us how much they love us. They tell us how great we did at something or how proud they are of us when we accomplish something. And so then, especially as children, we're craving this. We're craving their love so much that then we start to think, okay, this is it. I've earned it. I've got it. I have their love. But we start building the patterns in our mind of Well, they only really love me when I go to football practice and I do a really good job. They only love me when I win a game. They only love me when I bring home all A's. So then we push ourselves and push ourselves to do these things. And this isn't about achieving a lot. I think all parents should push their kids to achieve things and to even push through some difficulties or some hard times. But there's a way to do that through love, through compassion, even through healthy discipline. Withholding your love and turning cold and emotionally distant towards your own children, especially when they're young, is not a healthy way to do this. It's not a healthy way of teaching them anything. All parents who do this are teaching their kids is that the parent has the power to take away that child's very sense of safety, that child's sense of security and of love and of belonging. And when you get looped into this, you start again to find that pattern. You're like, okay, I just have to be really, really good at all these things that I do. I just have to force myself to do this hobby or do this sport that they want me to do. I just have to do everything for my younger siblings. I just have to show up for everyone else. I just have to never cry and never be upset and never show any kind of emotion, and maybe I'll feel that love again. The worst part is almost when they do show you that love, because then you know that it's possible. You think that if you just try hard enough, you can achieve it through your actions. You're not taught that you're lovable because of who you are. You're taught that you're lovable because of what you do. So why do they do this? Why does a toxic parent decide to withhold their love? A big part of it is that they get to keep control. The more that you are hanging on their every word and every sense of approval and every bit of permission from them, the more that they get to have a say in your life. They get to decide what you do and what you don't do and how you do it. And every situation isn't black and white, right? A lot of our parents are also dealing with their own trauma. And generational cycles work this way for a reason. We have to work extra hard to break generational cycles because so many generations lived through them without doing the hard work of breaking them. But even if they are going through their own trauma, even if they're going through their own difficulties, they still benefit from them having more control over us. They might be searching for their own approval from their parents or their wider community. They might have moved to a new country as immigrants and they want to prove something. It doesn't matter exactly what the backstory is or where it came from. Even if it's coming from a place that isn't 100% bad from them, it still had a negative impact on you, and that's why this matters. I don't share my content to make you angry and to hate your parents for the rest of your life. You might already carry that anger, and if you want to carry it for the rest of your life, then who am I to tell you not to, right? I'm not here to tell you you have to forgive them. I'm not here to tell you that you have to be angry at them. But the point is that this cycle left a lasting impact on you. So let's talk about this impact. How does conditional love impact you? It really does keep you under their control, and it keeps you constantly waiting and searching for their approval before you take the first step towards things that you actually care about in your own life. Because they sometimes teased you with that love, with that feeling of acceptance and that feeling of belonging, we think that it's a legitimate option on the table. So even as adults, we might major in what they want us to major in college. We might pursue the career that they want us to pursue in adulthood. We might get married on the timeline that they want for us. We might even get married to the person that they're pushing us to. We might have kids on their timeline or buy a house and live near them because that's what they want. But in all of this, your needs get squashed. Your needs get pushed to the side because what you actually want doesn't matter. This kind of parent doesn't want to know you. They don't want to meet you where you are. They don't want to understand and get into your internal world. They don't want to know about your creative pursuits or your hobbies or your interests or your career goals because that to them does not matter. And that's what's so frustrating about this cycle is that you want this love, and we all want our parents' love more than anything. We're biologically wired to want it and to need it. So if we don't get that love, but we know that it's a possibility, then we tweak ourselves and we change our actions and we hold hold ourselves back from the things we actually want to do and pursue just so that we can get another taste of their love again. So then you become way too scared to follow your own path. Or even if you do choose to pursue your own path, you then start to have this insurmountable guilt about doing so because they taught you that it's not just about you living your life and them being there to support you and love you no matter what. They're not here to give you advice and to help you along your own life path. Instead, they taught you that you can either choose their love or your freedom. And that comes with such severe consequences because, like I said, that guilt that gives you can make you go crazy. It can make it feel so daunting and so present that you don't even remember why you liked doing the thing that you wanted to pursue in the first place. You are on this uphill battle of facing guilt because you know that choosing something that you want to do means giving up their love, giving up their approval. And they're not gentle about this either. A lot of this can come with screaming matches and just complete anger and harsh words and them constantly putting you down. Because of that cycle that you're in as a child, it starts to teach you that if you are good enough, you will earn their love. So then it becomes about an internal battle, and that's how they maintain their control. If you are going in against yourself, then they don't have to do it. And that's a control tactic that applies politically, nationally, and plenty of other spaces other than just a toxic parent-child dynamic. So if you're on a hamster wheel to prove that you are good enough, cue the self-worth issues. So what's the point of all of this? How do we break free? Honestly, as painful as it is, the one thing that really helped set me free was accepting the fact that I would never get their approval. And what I mean by this is that I started to notice the goalpost was always moving. If I got straight A's in all of high school and I got into my dream college and I got my dream scholarship, I was still in trouble for going. Once I was there, I made some mistakes, but I also had great grades and worked my way through school and did a lot for the community that I was in. I pushed myself in every way that I could, but it still wasn't enough. I graduated and I got a job, a full-time good position before I even actually walked the stage, and even that wasn't enough. I found a partner who I loved and who loved and respected me, and that wasn't enough. But my entire life, my entire childhood, those were the tenets I was taught. Go to school, get an education, get a decent job or a good job, find a partner, find someone who actually loves and cares about you. But I realized that even after achieving those things and doing it on my own and doing it without a lot of support, it was not enough. The goalpost kept moving because there was always something else I needed to do to try and get their approval, something else I needed to become to try and achieve their love. And needing to achieve someone's love is not healthy. That's not how it works. And it is going to lead you down a toxic rabbit hole of being so angry with yourself and resentful with yourself because deep down, you believe that you're not good enough. You're not good enough to achieve this love, so you change yourself and you force yourself and you suppress yourself because it's all you know how to do. It's what you were raised and taught to do. So when you accept that you will never get their love, you will never get their unconditional love, you will never get their full acceptance or their full approval, that is truly where your freedom begins because you exit that toxic cycle. You get off that hamster wheel of chasing their love and their acceptance, and you say, it's never going to happen. And as much as it hurts, I need to accept that so I can set myself free. You need to stop waiting for their permission, stop waiting for their approval, stop waiting for their acceptance, and stop waiting for their love. Because even if it comes in little spurts here and there, it's never going to be what you actually need to feel safe. And if you're in your 20s or your 30s or 40s or 50s, it's been long enough. They've had enough time to show up with that unconditional love for you. It's not up to you to make the entire relationship perfect. It's a parent's responsibility to show that they want to be in their child's life. And yes, it can be a two-way street. Every relationship is going to have two people. But as a child, you know if your parent genuinely wants to be in your life and wants to be there for you. And one of the reasons that it's so important for you to break this cycle completely is that even if you're not waiting for your parents' approval, maybe you went no contact, maybe you decided that you saw all their toxic habits and their patterns and you know that it's not going to be better or it's not going to be perfect, so you decide to go no contact. But if you don't break this cycle from within, if you don't remind yourself of your own worthiness, then you will just transfer that pattern to someone else. You'll wait for your partner's approval. You'll wait for your best friend's approval. You'll wait for career achievements so that you can feel good enough. You'll find someone to put above you, some goal or some person or some ideal. And you'll tell yourself that you're not good enough until you achieve it. Because this pattern goes even deeper than just your relationship with them. After being in this toxic cycle for so long, you start to internalize it, and it becomes a part of you that you then move and imprint in other situations in your life. So the second step in setting yourself free from this cycle is to choose yourself. Choose yourself, your dreams, and the things that you want to accomplish in your life, the things that make you happy even if they can't be monetized, the people that you love and who actually show up for you instead of the people who make you audition for their love. If this was a friend in your life, you wouldn't give them the time of day. If this was a partner who was constantly making you jump through hoops just to get their approval or to feel like they're on your side for once, you would break up with them. So don't let your parent put you through this same cycle just because they're your parent. Accept that this perfect unconditional love that you've been craving your entire life is not going to come from this source. But know that if you are able to choose yourself, if you are able to love yourself, if you are able to decide today that you are good enough, that you have always been good enough, that is ultimately what will set you free. And if you're like, this is me, this is what I need to do, I need to remember that I am good enough. This is what I do. I'm a self-worth coach for Black Sheep and Cycle Breakers. I do this work because the core wound of our parents treating us in this way, whether it's conditional love or a slew of other things that toxic parents do, the core wound is low self-worth. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We don't give ourselves freedom. We don't prioritize ourselves. We just sacrifice ourselves in hopes that someone else might see us, that someone else might love us. And that's why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. So 2 action steps you can take from this video if you're feeling inspired and you feel like you need to start making a change. I have the Self-Worth Blueprint, which is an online course which is completely self-paced. It's only $50 or 3 payments of $15. I wanted to keep this as accessible as I possibly could for the work that I put into this, but it includes somatic practices to help you feel like you are worthy on a physical, cellular, body level. It includes teachings, including one on conditional love, and it includes an interactive journal called The Art of Belonging to help you tie my lessons into your day-to-day life right now so you can see where these worthiness wounds are showing up for you and how you can bridge that gap. And if you're not into DIY courses, but you know that one-on-one work is how you grow the quickest, then I also have self-worth coaching sessions, which have dropped to $99. These are a little pricier, but the work speaks for itself. And in these sessions, you get one-on-one attention from me. We start where you are. These sessions meet you where you are. And if you're struggling with a pattern in relationships, a pattern in money, a pattern in your career, and you just feel like you deserve more, but you're not getting it, that's what a self-worth coaching session is for. You don't even have to know your worthiness wounds. You don't have to know how everything is fitting into your life or in your toxic family. We're not going to sit around and talk about your childhood. We're going to talk about the action that you can take today, the mindset shifts that you need to stop holding you back right now, and what you can do to move forward. People don't leave my self-worth coaching sessions without an action step, without some sense of moving forward. That's why I do this work. It's so that you can live a life that you don't feel like is held back by your toxic parents. Thanks for tuning in today, Black Sheep. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate, review, and share it with your chosen family. Visit blacksheepexperience.com to book a self-worth coaching session, tarot reading, or to enroll in the self-worth blueprint for Black Sheep and cycle breakers. Follow Black Sheep Experience on Instagram to stay tapped into upcoming events and resources for the Black Sheep Collective. Take good care of yourself and your community, and I'll see you next week. Colorado Springs, if you're a little witchy, if you're a little naturey, I am hosting the perfect event for you. I'm hosting a super casual, super chill, super exciting event on channeled writing and how you can use it to connect with nature. So we're going to meet at Palmer Park and speak with the local trees, connect with the local land spirits. And if you are a beginner to channeled writing, you will learn everything that you need to know to get started and connect with your intuition more deeply. And if you are advanced, then you already know what to do. You're just going to spend some time connecting with the nature around you, connecting with our local tree spirits, and you'll be able to leave the event with a sense of community of other people who are into the same kind of things that you are. It's now live on Eventbrite, and it's going to be 6 to 8 p.m. on August 28th. Can't wait to see you there.